Hey guys, this is Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. We're on the test server again, guys. I'm able to test the HYDRA a few days before the changes. The buffs to HYDRA and the nerfs to champions go out. And I really want to test three things today. I want to test my old Trunda team, which used to hit for a couple of billion on hard, and see what the change to Trunda does to her. I also want to test what my old Ultra Nightmare team, whatever it is for HYDRA, like the big boy one that was big boy before all of these crazy teams came out. So like Double Acrizia, Krisk, Chigor, the team which I thought was like hitting it big before everyone started coming out with crazy teams. And that used to do about 400 million on Nightmare. And then lastly, I want to test what I would call like a budget level team that's perhaps trying to push for a 1 key on normal, and see if I can try and get to the sort of stats that I would expect a newer player to be able to achieve, and see what sort of damage that does as well. So, you know, different levels here. What does it actually do? What sort of numbers are we seeing change based on the buffs to HYDRA? So I'm going to start with my Trunda team. I think Trunda's going to be massively affected. So my Trunda team is fairly, I mean, I built this fairly recently. So Trunda doing all of the damage. Earstrid slowing down heads. We've got drop defense and weaken from my Lydia, and she speeds us up, and she reduces the damage we take. Gerbtuck is just straight up a damage buff for my team, and he puts block buffs out there in case we need it. We've got Duchess in there basically to control the Head of Torment, and also to revive Trunda if she kills herself. And then we've got Kaima in there basically doing resets. So decent squad. And well built, honestly. Like, not insane, I would say, but pretty insane. Like, fast, high crit damage, good attack. Kaimar pretty quick, very tanky. Lydia quick, good accuracy to land her stuff. Duchess quick, good to go. Gerbtuck, accuracy to land his stuff, quick. So this is a strong team. Okay, I'm just going to let this run full auto. I always do it full auto, so I'm not clicking heads or anything on this one. I let it go, and let's see where this damage comes out. It's worth calling out, actually, because I've not seen this in action yet. So we've now got a popped head with a health bar. As soon as the health bar is gone, this head respawns with block damage now. It's not like a reduction of damage. It's pure block damage. And if we're doing it like we are right now, where I'm killing heads one at a time, and then they're respawning, this is like the worst nightmare, because every time they respawn, singly, they get the block damage. If they respawn two together like these two did, then only one of them will get the block damage. But why the hell is she hitting that head? Is she doing that? I thought the AI was updated to not do that, by the way. But it massively changes the game, because basically what's going on now is I'm in way less control with the fight. In terms of, you know, if I can't kill the heads off or control the heads, I guess I can still apply debuffs. So I can still provoke this head, for example. But with the Trunda strat specifically, you didn't used to need to control a head, because you would just be blowing it up. Literally, as soon as they came back, they were dead again. My damage here is like minuscule, and yeah, I'm probably, I'm not going to lose Trunda, but I'm not in good shape at all. So the team that I was running on hard is kind of hard wrecked. In fact, I think my damage number is going to be minuscule here, and probably would need a bit of a rebuild to be able to do the same sort of thing that I was doing before. Doesn't mean Trunda's useless, by the way. Just means that, like, the damage numbers are significantly less, and the mechanics are very different. So it's much harder to do what I was doing. Probably running it on normal, I'd still get some silly numbers, but I'm not going to get silly numbers here. Like, far from it, in fact. So I guess a couple of observations as I'm playing through here. The deadhead HP is very low, actually, or it's kind of low, which means that you're blowing up a deadhead quite quick, and it means they respawn pretty fast, you know? So you used to be able to keep a head dead for quite a long time. And that's actually where you got a lot of your damage from, is piling damage into the dead head. And obviously when they respawn, they get this block damage now. The trouble is, so they say, look, if two heads respawn at the same time, only one of them will get it. A lot of the time, one head is respawning at a time. A lot. See this? If they made it like, I don't know, 1 in every 4 got this block damage thing, maybe that's a better mechanic because, I mean, I'm obviously doing colossal damage. Don't get me wrong here. This is probably how it's meant to play out. But right now, I can do 0 damage. 0 damage to any head right now. You know, which I don't think should be the way this game mode should be played either. So they've kind of gone too far in the other direction here. That's one thing. Obviously, we've got less turns to get stuff done, so we're going to get less damage anyway for teams that went all the way. But yeah, also because you get this block damage up, and but the game is just a lot harder, you are being eaten a lot more as well. And when you're being eaten a lot more, as you get further through the fight, the amount of damage you need to release the person is higher. Kind of means for a team like this one, and this one is, don't get me wrong, I wasn't a big fan of this type of team anyway, but a team like this, which relies really on one damage dealer, cannot really work going forward, because if your damage dealer is eaten later into the fight, I don't think I've got a sensible way to release them. So, I mean, Trunda still does colossal damage, but it's not, you know, chalking up hundreds of millions of damage here. I'm chalking up, you know, high damage, which I think that side of it, I'm not against, by the way. I know some people will be pissed at that. I'm not against, you know, a champion not being super OP anymore. I think it's kind of dumb that she ever was, but I don't love the HYDRA mechanic changes. I think they've gone too far in terms of that. Okay, so 360 odd mil. I have to be clear here. I'm not certain this is my team that used to do 1 to 2 bill. I switched out an Emic team. Maybe, and I don't have a reference for what this did last time, so that's probably unfair, but I'm certain this was doing at least 1.5 bill. I'm certain of it. But obviously we've got a 1,000 turn limit now. Someone did actually get eaten and it didn't clear them out. Don't forget I play it on auto, not manual. So I would have been able to fix that if I was playing manually. But still, it's a 25-minute run on auto, 1,000 turns, 367 mil. It's because of the lower turn, so I lose, you know, a third of my normal damage. So that would have given me another, what, 180. So that would take me over 500 mil. Let's say the damage is over half reduced because of all the head changes and stuff, and you get 500 less turns. So you lose another third over that. It's a significant change, honestly. I'm probably doing somewhere like a third of the damage I was doing before. So significant change, but Trunda is still very strong. That's a fact. Trunda's strong. So if maybe I run the same team again with someone like a Thor in this spot and see what this same comp does with Thor. And then that would give us an idea of Trunda versus another decent damage dealer. So let's do that first. I'll switch this same gear onto Thor so that we get a good comparison of a couple of strong damage dealers. So we're going to do that. We're just going to go into Thor and give him Trunda's gear. Just make sure that's good. Crit capped, high crit damage and stuff. So I've got 4-piece Slayer, 4-piece... Thor's slightly different. This is how I was running my Thor. 5-piece Merciless, 4-piece Slayer. Is that better or not? So I get the turn meter feel on his AoEs, and I get the chance to reset, but I'm not getting the ignore 30% defense. I think I need to go up more Merciless gear. What have I got here? 4 pieces. I think I'm just going to go for the same type of run as what Trunda had. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, I've got 5 pieces, right? 1, 2, 3. Oh no, 4, 5. Yeah, 5. What's going on? Why is my counting not working? Oh, Slayer. There we go. 5 pieces. So I need 1 more piece, which means I lose the turn meter fill. But I guess that's fine for what we're doing here. Trying to get an even fight. Do I even have a Merciless ring in this faction? No. Staying crit capped. I'm going to lose some speed. but I need to do that to make this work. Okay, let me just check that one more time. One more check before we go in. I don't want it to be a wrong match. 3-piece Slayer, 6-piece Merciless. Masteries are on. Everything's on. Okay, cool. So yeah, we're gonna try the same team, see what a Thor does. You know, do we last the full fight? Are we able to do like insane amounts of damage with a Thor compared to a Trunda, basically? That's what we're looking at. Right, so the Thor fight, I didn't actually hit maximum turns. You can see a few people dead. I had a couple of people eaten and I couldn't get them out. I didn't see how many turns it was running for though, but we had 154 mil from Thor. The time running was 23 minutes. I think the Trunda one ended in like 26. So I can't have been that far from maximum turns. But yeah, you can see Trunda obviously still pulling her weight. I wonder if I go into keep result, does it tell me my turns I hit? Can't remember. I don't think so. Does it give me any more info? No, don't know. Don't know. But it does show like Trunda's still on a high power level because we know Thor is up there as a very good damage dealer as well. So let's go into a nightmare run now and show off one of my old teams that I used to use like consistently for nightmare. So yeah, this was the squad. It was a Duchess, double Acrisia, Chris, Chidor, and Supreme Dalek. And the idea here was we've got kind of like burns, we've got high damage, we've got block buffs, we've got decreased speed, 2 provokers, so we keep provoke sorted out. I can deal with the Head of Torment, and then double Acrisia, which back in the day used to be like the way to do high damage, right? So how does this look on Nightmare? And this used to do for me somewhere between sort of 300 to 400 mil on Nightmare. I will say as well, I didn't always hit turn limit on this team. It was generally high turn. So I would hit somewhere kind of close to 1200 turns or something like that. I didn't always hit 1500 turns. So for me, the turn limit reduction is not such a big deal. But I do think it's going to be a challenge, you know, eating or getting rid of the people that were eaten later on into the fight. That definitely becomes more of a challenge. And obviously just losing damage with this new buff, the Serpent's Head buff thing. Okay, so we've come in at nearly 250 mil, probably about 100 mil less than before. A significant change. And I didn't last the 1,000 turns. I lasted like 850 odd. So again, significant change to... I mean, it's a high-end team, but not like a crazy high-end team, honestly, compared to some others. The champs are, but the meta has moved on a long way since like Acrisias and stuff being the way to do your damage. I was just interested because I knew this was a base that I knew my damage output for. So yeah, probably again, like maybe as much as like 30-40% loss of damage. Maybe as high as that, maybe 30% loss of damage compared to what I was doing previously. Okay, to finish then, we're just going to look at a normal Hydra run with a weakened team. Like I've tried to build stats out that the lower level player might be able to achieve. Deacon with Apothecary giving us some speed. Shizou giving us a provoke. Rector is like a healer with, you know, the Perfect Veil. Ninja and Rathalos, basically because they were 2 freebies that could be our damage in this team. And I guess let's just see how a more normal player would be affected by the changes that are going on. So we could speed up, we could drop defense, manual in this rather than auto in it because we're just trying to get our work done. Ninja A2 for the damage, Rathalos A3. We get the provoke away, hopefully. So we got the weak hit. I forgot he does. I thought he was more guaranteed provoke. He's not, is he? So full cleanse coming in, which is a bit rough. And I guess, yeah, I mean, this is fair. So I guess at this point you would restart if Shizou is your guy. Shizou, how's your luck? Didn't land it anyway because he's not booked. 80% chance of landing that was. Let's just take his skills up. Still got a chance of weak hitting, but let's go again. 3 tries. I knew I should have picked someone else. I thought, I'll pick Shizou. Everyone's telling me how good he is free to play. This is the annoying aspect. Oh, got it. Okay. Let's go full auto from here then. So, 4th time lucky. Poison heads are out. We can only hit the people now that have got a burn on with any sort of consistency. But obviously the AI does not agree. And obviously lower level teams, you've got way less resources, right? If you're not using some of the legendaries and stuff, you have less ways to control the heads. You have less ways to stay alive. You've got less ways to do damage like this. That's the whole reason you kind of try and scale up to these other teams. So what I would say here is, so far compared to normal Hydra pre-buffs, pre-Hydra buffs, literally nothing has changed, right? Because we haven't killed any heads, and I'm not in a position that I'm killing heads right now. So this weaker team, I don't think anything changes. It's literally just, can I get to the point where I'm earning some rewards? That doesn't change. As soon as you start killing heads with your team power, that's when I think things start to change. So the very low level, no difference. The very high level, extreme difference, but you can still one key stuff. I think the people that are going to be punished the hardest is that kind of like, and it's probably think about a bell curve, it's probably the majority of players, honestly, but it's that mid-tier of players that were pushing for, decent hits on hard and brutal, trying to get those max rewards, but are kind of in that mid-ground of, it's still really hard to do. I'm pushing my builds, I'm struggling to do it. I think they're going to be the people that are hit the hardest on these Hydra changes. But yeah, it's definitely significant from all levels of player above the very early game player, I would say. There you go. That's my testing. Let me know what you think down below, and I will see you in the next one.